Now remember, only built-in properties of an object are only mixed. Properties inside the prototype object are not mixed at all. Now let's see an example here. Let's create a prototype object here, and then set a nickname, a property nickname there. Now this property nickname will not be mixed at all. It will be skipped. It will only pick surname because that's what object.assign does. Now let's test this out. See, there is surname here, nickname here. Sorry, we cannot access this nickname after this mix into the user object. We cannot call something like this console.log user.nickname. We can't do it because this nickname is in the prototype object of this surname object. So we can't do something like this. To test it out, let's clear our console and call it. You see, it returns undefined because it is in the prototype object. This is how we define prototype in an object literal. Now let's see it also when we create an object from a constructor function. Let's say we have a constructor function like this. We have test, and inside it we have a built-in property status. Now let's create a prototype object on it. Let's say something like name test, and then we create an object of it like this test. Now we can mix this object test inside the user object. Then this user object can be able to access status but cannot access name because this name is in the prototype object. Now let's see it here. Let's add the test object here, and now let's try to access the status. Now the status, and let's test this one out first. You see the status was mixed inside this user object because the status is built inside the function, but we cannot access name because it is inside the prototype object. So now let's try with the name. You see undefined. So you see, we cannot mix in properties that are inside the prototype object, but we can become creative here and try to mix in properties inside the prototype object. Now to do that, we can just come, like as we have monkey patched the object.assign method, we can just like try to mix in all the properties, both built in and inside the prototype object. So now to do it, first we need to create an array, then spread these ones gotten from here inside it. Then to get the object, the properties inside the prototype object, we need to use .proto access for it like this. Now this gets all the properties inside the prototype object. Now we need to spread it also. Now after this line 8, we now have a mixture of both properties built inside the object and properties inside the prototype object. Now next thing, properties inside a prototype are not enumerable and they will always be undefined. So we need to remove this key descriptor here. So we have to make two of these. Now we just only assign them straight without looking if they're enumerable. So when mixing in properties inside the prototype object, we are not going to check the enumerable values because they are undefined. So with this, we can now be able to call both these properties here, nickname, and the one inside our constructor function, name, and they will work. So let's call the nickname dot nickname, let's call it. So all of them will work. Let's try it. Let's clear the console. So you see all of them works. So we just got creative here. We just got creative here to mix in all the properties from the built-in object and also from the from the prototype object. So this is how we did it. We use this spread operator because we know this gets all the properties inside an object. So we spread it inside this because we are now creating a new array, because this will return an array, and also this returns an array. So we spread them everything so that they will be in the same array and also in the same level. So we now look through them. Everything will be inside this keys variable. We now look through them and do the mix in straight. So that's how it works. In the next session, we are going to look at how to mix in properties from classes in JavaScript.